Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to bring our newest offering from 1E, Application Experience Management, or AXM. Today, I'd like to introduce the two speakers, which is going to be myself, Sid Biscara. I'm a product marketing manager here at 1E, and Kat here is going to be joining us as well. She is the product manager in charge of Application Experience Management. So with that, I'd like to go into our agenda. So we're going to do a quick 1E overview, and then Kat's going to dive into the AXM or Application Experience Management. And then she's got a quick demo to showcase the features and functionalities of the offering. And then lastly, we'd like to conclude with a Q&A. And one quick caveat about the Q&A, if you guys can put your questions in the chat, we'll make sure to answer those questions at the end of the presentation. So with that, I'd like to jump into our purpose. So at 1E, we really reimagine how technology serves people and create new ways for IT to shape the future of work. What that means is we are thinking about how DEX and how we can implement the digital employee experience to shape the future of IT work. So now I want to lean into how the purpose ties into our core values here at 1E. So here at 1E, we focus on three core principles that guide us through our actions and thoughts. These principles ensure that the platform not only meets the standards, but excels in creating a seamless experience for both employees and businesses. So firstly, is better experience. Our goal is to make employees' digital experience as smooth as possible. We do that by reducing digital friction. We increase productivity, loyalty, and satisfaction within their roles. We really work hard to maximize positive productivity time, and we've seen a significant reduction in experience attrition as a result. The second thought is, how do we be more secure? So security is paramount in our platform. We actively monitor and ensure that devices remain compliant with the latest security standards. So should any risk or compromise be discovered, we have the ability to initiate real-time remediation that limit any potential impact. And then lastly, we are business aligned. So our focus is not only on an individual employee productivity, but also on their ability to drive revenue through their activities and the customer experiences they create. So we're committed to supporting businesses in managing costs, whether it's device support, hardware upgrades, or even software asset investments. So in conclusion, the DEX platform is really built on these three core principles. So providing a better experience for your employees, ensuring a more secure environment, and aligning with the business needs and goals. And I believe together, these principles really allow us to create a robust platform that supports both individual and organizational success. So that's a quick kind of overview of 1E's purpose and values. And now I'd like to hand it off to Kat to talk a little more about AXM.
Great. Thank you, Sid. So as Sid mentioned, hi, my name is Kat Catini. I'm a product manager here at 1E. Have been working on the new AXM tool, and I'm really excited to bring it all to you in the product and then also talk about it and introduce it today. So quick background of what Application Experience Management, also known as AXM, is and what it provides. It's a brand new application that we're providing in the 1E platform. And it's a modern dashboard that's really going to show you insights and data and information all around application performance and user satisfaction around these applications. Through the 1E client, which you should be familiar with, but it's also a part of our product and a new web plugin that we have been building, we are able to track both on-device and web-based applications, pull data down from those, and then provide insights about that onto this real-time dashboard. For our on-device applications, we'll show you what it looks like. We have a demonstration. And then for our web-based applications, we are pulling down Google's Core Web Vitals to manage the performance of that website. Again, we're presenting all of this data on a live dashboard right inside of the 1E platform, and again, providing insights about that. So quick recap of what AXM is, what the product is. We'll now dive into how we got here, why we wanted to provide this for our customers, and then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with a demo here in a moment. So quickly, first, why did we want to provide AXM to all of you? Why did we want our customers to be able to use this? And why did we really think it would provide value for our customers, for you all watching right now? And really, it came down to three main pillars. First is all about user performance and the user experience, right? So as Sid mentioned, we care about DEX. We care about you measuring your DEX of your employees. Your employees are using applications every single day, so ensuring a positive user experience around applications, we know is vital for our customers right now. So that's why I wanted to provide it first and foremost. Secondly, we know APM or AXM tools in our case are crucial, especially as the number of your applications scale, your users are scaling. There's really a lot to manage when you have many, many users using many applications. So as you grow as a customer, we want to make sure we're also able to provide that AXM functionality, again, relating back to the DEX, but making sure we can do it at scale for you all. And then lastly, we also wanted to provide you with information to make data-driven decisions. So we know that you want to make sure you're getting the most out of your applications. You're really investing in the correct applications. You're having the correct adoption on your applications. So with the data that we provide through AXM, as well as data around user experience and satisfaction and performance, we want to make sure you can use that data to really make those data-driven decisions about which applications you want to use, which applications you don't want to use, etc. So this was really important for us to provide to you all with these three main pillars that we have here. We also know that we want to provide AXM, our tool called AXM, to you all through what Forrester has been talking about, as well as many other sort of analysts, and we listen to our own customer feedback about why this is so important. So we know that core productivity platforms are the foundation of work, right? And Forrester is saying this here. This is a quote from Forrester. These tools help employees get work done. Really what these tools are different applications on your device. We have collaboration tools, enterprise applications, content and communication tools. Those are all applications on your device that you or your users are using every single day, right? We have Microsoft Teams, we have Outlook, we have Salesforce.com, both on device and web-based. And these are really crucial to a user's success. So really it's all about applications. We can see that applications make up a huge part of the user experience. And so we know we needed to create something so you could track that and understand the DEX around that. And Forrester is saying that here as well. And then lastly, we really wanted to provide more ROI for you all. So we understand that you are using 1E. We need to provide ROI for you in the tool, definitely aware of that. And we believe the AXM tool can do that around applications, especially, of course. So what AXM can do is 3 different points to create more ROI for you so you can really see value from the tool. And again, use it to make data-driven decisions as well. Those are sort of one and the same here. So first, AXM can help with reduced downtime and outages. So through this dashboard, through the trends, through seeing this type of information, we're able to show you before you might even know about it, so proactively before tickets are coming through, if there's an application downtime or outage. So you can see that, see it quickly, see it before maybe users even know about it, and then be able to remediate it faster. So we want to reduce that downtime by providing those insights to you proactively. We also, of course, want to improve application performance. So we know if there's issues with an application, it's going to slow down user efficiency, user satisfaction, yes, but in this case, also user efficiency and how much output a user can have. I know that recently my Teams was not working that great, and I didn't have a really efficient workday that day, right? Hate to admit that, but it's true, right? And I'm sure it happens to almost everyone that is using any sort of application out there, not just Teams, right? So we want to make sure we're increasing that user experience and increasing that user efficiency. And so that's always important. And then lastly, back to the data-driven decisions, we want to make sure we're optimizing resource allocation for you, or allowing you rather to optimize your resource allocation. So through information about how many people are using an application, what pages they are using, if it's responsive to them or not, really what the adoption looks like per application, you can start to make decisions about which applications you invest in, which applications you're not using as much, which application versions you want to upgrade to, or which applications you maybe don't want to upgrade to. And there's different ways we can compare that in the tool. So again, making sure you have the data so you can feel like you are making the most out of your applications in your environment. So all important ROI pieces, and we wanted to provide this with our tool as well. So that being said, we are introducing our AXM tool. So quickly covered what it is. It is a dashboard in the 1E platform for our SaaS customers that we have, and is now launched for our customers. What we want to bring is actionable insights. So that's crucial. Spoke about the insights on top of the data that AXM is providing. We are making sure the applications you are tracking are business focused. So we want to make sure that for your users, we're focusing on those crucial business applications that really make sense to track and keep an eye on. We also have a comprehensive solution. So we have both on-device applications being tracked. I mentioned Teams, that counts as that. And then also any web-based application. So any Chrome or Edge application you're using in Chrome or Edge, we're also able to track that. So you can see a holistic view of applications, no matter how they are accessed. And then lastly, you can use the rest of the 1E platform, other modules that we have, in order to remediate any issues you have with application. So new tool, we're excited to talk about it. We'll show you what it looks like, but it's really made up of these 4 pillars that we want to provide to our customers. Quickly show you what that looks like. So here is a screenshot of what we have. This is our web-based application view that we have. Just want to quickly show you the modern dashboard that we're working with. You can see the insights we're providing with the AXM score. I won't linger on this too much here because we do have a demonstration which I'll go through, but wanted to quickly bring it all together, what I was talking about, so you can see what we're looking at. And this is what the dashboard looks like in our product. So I mentioned we have both on-device apps and web-based apps, so you can track whichever applications, no matter how your users are tracking them. And the first part of that is our on-device applications. What those applications make up are anything that is on your laptop. So you might have Teams, you might be using Outlook. Anything that is accessed through an application that's downloaded to your device is what we're counting as an on-device app. For on-device applications, we use our 1E client. So again, another part of our tool that we have to fulfill our AXM dashboard with data. So we're able to pull real-time data right into the dashboard and then provide you with that data as well as insights on top of that. Now, one of the largest insights that we provide, and really the place where we want your eye to go to first on the dashboard, alert you of any issues in your application environment, is our AXM score. So I'll show you what this looks like here very quickly. It's a score from 0 to 100. It's a quick measure of user satisfaction based on responsiveness and stability for your on-device applications. So if you've used 1E and some other applications in our tool, we have that AXM score. We've done something similar, so it's staying consistent with the rest of the platform. We also provide information over time. So we have AXM scores over time, and we're showing you a long graph over 90, 60, or 30 days, or the last 24 hours, depending on what you want to filter on, and showing you AXM scores over time. So that's helpful if you want to see if there has been an event, again, in the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or even an event that has happened just yesterday. And you can see how the AXM scores have been affected by that, right? There might have been a patch that has rolled out that may have degraded some scores. So you can see that, quickly identify that event, maybe roll back that patch. So one use case for that AXM scores over time. And then lastly, we also have something called poorest AXM scores. So this is important. It's an alert to the IT administrator right inside of the dashboard where you can see your applications that are performing the worst. So which applications have the lowest score across the entire application environment. We want to draw your attention to these. We want to let you know that these are not performing well, as well as showing you the percentage over time that the application has decreased or increased, probably decreased if it's on this poorest AXM scores. And from there, you can drill into the application and learn more and see what you can do to increase that score there. So again, 3 insights that we have on the dashboard. Show you what this looks like shortly, but want to make sure you're able to not only get the data, but additional information on top so you can really understand what's going on in your application environment. The second thing I want to talk about is the other half of the puzzle. So I mentioned we have a comprehensive view, a comprehensive way to track all different types of applications. And the second half of that is our web-based apps, or maybe known as SaaS applications. And that's anything that you're going to be tracking or using in your browser and actually tracking through the browser. So if you have users that are using anything on Chrome, they have salesforce.com. I know I use Jira quite a bit, right, in my role. Whatever application they're using in their browser, you're able to track that as well. And you're able to determine which URLs you want to track or not in this configuration list that we have. With these web-based apps, we'll show you again a dashboard of what this looks like, but we are pulling down Google's core web vitals to track what's going on. So we wanted to make sure we were sticking with industry standards about website performance, making sure we were showing you this information, and we are pulling down these 3 core web vitals to track the loading of the page, the interactivity, and the visual stability of the page. 3 important metrics to make sure users are satisfied with their application. So again, we pull this into the dashboard. We understand that these are essential, performance-oriented, and user-centric, and we've pulled these right into our platform and integrated through that Chrome plugin. So with that being said, that little sneak peek of what the product makes up, I will go through a quick demonstration, show you what it looks like here, and tell you the story of how an IT administrator, or really whoever needs to use this tool, would go ahead and do that. So first, let me pull up our on-device tracking. So here you can see I've pulled up the 1E platform. AXM is a new tool. It's a new application in this 1E platform. Simply turn it on and then data should already be populated if you already have the tool and are using the 1E client. So simple setup, simple to pull this data in real time right into this dashboard. And here we can see the dashboard I was talking about with the insights. So on this overview, you can see your overall AXM score. Again, that 0 to 100 score, that proprietary score that we have created to really represent user satisfaction around all your applications. You can also see that scores over time, again, to make sure that no events have occurred that are degrading the score or showing more poor or red items pop up here. You can also see the scale. So you can see how many applications you have in your environment, how many total sessions, which is how many times a user has opened an application, used it, and then closed it. And then most importantly, how many of those users are impacted by poor AXM scores. So focusing on DEX, focusing on user-centric reporting, we have that there as well. And then lastly, as I mentioned previously, we're also able to show you your poorest AXM scores, which applications are performing the worst, which applications you really need to focus on. And in this case, we have Adobe Acrobat that is performing the worst. Score is low here. That means the responsiveness and stability of the application currently is actually pretty low. It's not performing very well. And this is where you can dig in and see a little bit deeper. So not only are we providing you an overview of your entire landscape, which we want you to start at to start to understand how your applications are performing, but we can also have you drill down deeper and understand on an application by application basis. So for Adobe Acrobat here, we have that same score, same scale information. We can show you your versions. So not only do we break it down by application, but also version of application. Understand if a patch has been helpful, if an upgrade has been helpful, or if it has degraded the score, and then also scores over time. And all of this information is again made up of our 2 pillars. Data being pulled right from the 1E client. We have our responsiveness data here, which is represented by busy cursor sessions and poor response sessions. So if the cursor is, of course, is busy, you have that spinning cursor or that hourglass. I know I get the hourglass that will track there. And then if the application is responding poorly and does not respond to you, we're also able to track that there. So showing you what that responsiveness is made up of. We also use stability. So the stability of the application, crashing events. So of course, if the application crashes, we're able to track that. If the application hangs and gives you that frozen screen, we can also track that. So if the application is acting unstable frequently, it'll track here. And again, if those start to increase, that will pull the score down more. If it's increasing and getting better here, that will also increase the score as well. So that's directly correlated into that. So very quickly, wanted to show what the dashboard looks like for our on-device applications. Quick overview there, and hope you enjoyed the demonstration. The next part of the tool that I want to show is also our web-based applications. So just went through our on-device. It's called installed applications here. But again, as I mentioned, the other half of that puzzle is our web-based applications. So again, anything accessed through Chrome or Edge, we are able to track and pull down those core web vitals from our plugin that we have created. So again, same type of information. We have our AXM score. We have our scale information, our size information. So how many applications you are monitoring, how many applications have a poor experience, how many users, etc. And also showing you that poorest AXM scores as well. So wanting to stay consistent with our on-device applications page, we also provide the same information for your web-based applications, browser-based applications. What is different about this here is our way that we're tracking the performance of these applications, of course. Web-based applications, I'm sure you're familiar with, act differently than on-device, and so we need to track them in a different way. And the way that we're doing that is we are using those Google Core Web Vitals. You can see them across the middle of this page here. And here we're showing them on the entire application environment level. So overall, what's the LCP? So what's the loading for the applications that we've decided to track? What's the first input display of the applications that we would like to track? And you can see here we've brought in the thresholds, and if it's over the threshold, we'll mark it as red. And then lastly, what is the CLS here for our Google Core Web Vital that we're pulling, again, in real time down from that Chrome plugin that we have. And again, we have it over time as well. So wanting to stay consistent. What we can do here is the same workflow and the same sort of investigating that we would do in the on-device applications. So as an IT administrator or whoever is using this tool and wanting to gather more information, you can first see the overview and understand what's going on at really a macro level in all my web-based applications. In this case, we have Salesforce. It's performing poorly, and that's a pretty important application to make sure is running smoothly for, I'm sure, a number of different reasons, a number of different use cases that you're using Salesforce or any application for. So in this case, the same way we would drill down into on-device applications, we can drill down into Salesforce here, see that AXM score, see all of that information about individuals with poor user experience, and then also go down one level. So again, a little bit different than the on-device applications. With our web-based applications, you're able to say which page is performing well, rather than the entire URL and which page is performing poorly. So in this case, we have our accounts. They're not doing so well. All of our core web vitals there are red. They're above the thresholds that we've gone and set here. So that's not performing well. Opportunities, it's okay. It's not great for that first input display, but it's doing better in the other two core web vitals, right? If you tracked other pages, you could see those here as well and really understand on a more micro level what's going on Salesforce as a URL, as a program as a whole, but also what's going on in each page path that you're able to set up here as well. So again, quick demonstration of our web-based applications. Wanted to go through that quickly for you all here and give that overview. And thank you very much. Great, so those are the demonstrations. And lastly, we will wrap this up with a Q&A. So feel free to put your questions in the chat and I would be happy to answer any of them here.
Thanks, Kat. So we do have a couple of questions in the chat so far. So the first one is, when will AXM be available?
Yes, so AXM right now is available in a beta form currently. So you can use it right now if you want to use a beta form of it. And then later in the fall, we will have a full GA form of the product, full scope, everything that you've seen today, and fully supported by 1E.
Great, thanks, Kat. And I know this second question, you probably covered it during the presentation, but if you can reiterate it, what applications does AXM work with?
Yes. So AXM, when it will be in its GA form, will work with both our on-device applications. So anything that is on your laptop, right? Downloaded, you have something you access, an application you access through your laptop, and then the web-based applications as well. And for the web-based applications, you can decide which URLs you want to track. That will determine which data you are pulling in. So I don't think I mentioned that previously, but it's not going to track every single URL every user is hitting. We wanted to make sure we had privacy controls around that so you can determine really which applications you're tracking on the web-based side.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I think that sums up our presentation today. I lastly want to thank everyone for joining us today. We really, really appreciate your time. And if you guys have any more questions or just want to get to know more about AXM, please contact your account team. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, everyone, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.